of the Ellettsville Planning Commission, Thursday, May 8, 2023. Don, you want to lead us in the prayer, or the pledge? Sorry.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Denise, you want a roll call?
David Drake.
Or, sorry, Denise, here.
Don Calvert. Here. Steve Hale.
Here.
Sandra Hash. Pamela Samples.
Here.
Pat Weslowski.
All right. First thing on the agenda, the approval of minutes for April 6, 2023. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. Any comment? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. Is there a monthly conflict of interest statement from anyone? Seeing none, we'll jump down to new business. Public hearing on I'm sorry, what? Sure.
Comprehensive plan update.
Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped right over that.
That's all right. So in your packet, you're going to find the Chapter 4 of the proposed comp plan, and it's called our land use plan. I put it in your packet so you will review it and then be prepared to start discussing it at the next meeting. And I think as well, Taylor Seifert Group also had emailed that to all of you.
Okay. Any commissioners have any questions on this, comments?
That's what we're doing next week, right?
Next meeting, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 2 weeks, they'll have a night meeting to discuss the comp plan task forces.
I mean, I'm just saying, we shouldn't have questions or anything tonight. Save those until next week.
Sure.
Or if you just have any comments, you can mention them now if you want anything.
Well, no, I just, my comment on, like on page, oh, wow, let me see, 76 and 75, parking, I don't see how, I don't see a plan. And on 76, connectivity, I don't, we've got to spend a lot of time on one road that runs through Ellettsville, period. And I've said all along, I'd like to see some connectivity, and I'd like to see some kind of a grid set down over the community before we start dealing with these other things. That's my concern.
Okay.
Well, and two, we don't have to pass this in one meeting either, so.
I know,
Yeah.
concern.
Sure, I understand. And, you know,
Secondary uses, parks, schools, religious facilities, community facilities, traffic accessibility was the first thing that ran into my mind there. Being able to get to them, being able to get away from them, that sort of thing.
Okay, we'll discuss it the next meeting.
all right. Do you have a thoroughway plan? Is that still,
There was one I thought some time ago.
nothing's been updated recently?
No.
You might drag that out too for his questions next month, if you still have it around.
Yeah, that's the if.
Okay, sorry about that. We'll go down to,
Could I bring up one comment?
sure. Well, you want to come to the podium, state your name?
Kyle Hannon with the Envision Ellettsville project. I would say if you're thinking about the layover grid and concerned about how things connect, the next meeting is fine. You could also send an email to Haley ahead of time because you respond to that thing that was sent when the plan was sent to you before. Just respond, say I have some. I'm writing down your thoughts, but say I have some questions about the the parking and how you get to these things. Gives them a head start. They might have the solution by then, if you want. So feel free to reach out to them. She'll be happy to hear from you. Okay.
All right, ready to move on? No old business, new business. Public hearing on moratorium on certain commercial uses. And I think Denise, are you going to start with this?
Yes, as you know, there are some prime real estate locations that have opened up in Ellettsville, whether it's due to the close of another business or a vacant lot. And we'll be starting at some point on the Unified Development Ordinance and rewriting our zoning.
I just couldn't hear.
Oh. Sorry. So we want to preserve these locations because some of the zoning districts for those locations may change throughout the UDO process. So we're asking for the moratorium until the UDO is adopted. And Darla may be able to explain that a little better.
What would that be, like till the end of the year or something?
Well, I think we put a date in here, October 1st, 2023, whichever occurs first, but if you want to pick a different date, that's fine.
Well, I'm fine with that. I thought that was what we discussed before, that, well, it said a certain time.
And were you concerned at the last meeting about that being long enough?
Yeah, we're already, according to Taylor Seifert's timeline to start the UDO, we're already about 3 months, going 2.5 months behind schedule. So I'm concerned we won't finish by October.
So you want to reset it?
Yeah, I was thinking February of 2024.
Is that what we would pass that?
If that date is fine with you, yes. And if you're okay with that, that's what'll go to
What do you
council.
think, Dan?
I think that's fine, I mean,
I think it's fine to give, I think it's fine to give
And then
extra
if
time.
the UDO is adopted sooner, then it would end with the adoption
Yeah.
of the UDO.
Are you okay with that?
Fine,
Yeah.
Needs to be done right.
Yeah. So we need to take a vote, don't we?
Well, we're requesting a favorable recommendation, non-favorable, or no recommendation to town council, and then town council will hear it at their May 8th meeting.
okay, is there any petitioners present? Seeing none, any additional comments by staff?
No, staff just requests a favorable recommendation to town council.
Okay, public comment.
Dan Rary, Envision Ellettsville. Just wanted to bring to your attention, there's going to be an advisory board meeting May 11th at noon at the chamber office. And then we'd had some talk about whether it wouldn't be a good idea to have an evening meeting. So we will be having a community town forum update Tuesday, May 16th at 6:00 p.m. here at Town Hall.
Okay, Dan, I was asking for public comment on the moratorium.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Like I said, I can't hear anything.
I'm sorry.
You said
Well,
public and I
I
jumped up.
thought you were going to lead into it, but, but that's all right. You can go ahead of there.
Well, that's all I've got. I just
Okay.
want to invite everybody to come to it.
All right.
The evening meeting's at 6:00 here
That's on the 16th.
on the 16th.
But wasn't there one on the 11th?
Yeah, that's just an advisory board meeting at the chamber office.
At what time?
Noon,
Okay.
yeah, noon.
What type of advisory board, Dan?
The Envision Ellettsville. Yeah. And can I ask a question since I'm up here? I couldn't hear, where is this moratorium going to take place? What properties?
It'll be for the town of Ellettsville jurisdiction. So it'll just be all Ellettsville and commercial and industrial districts.
So if anybody is applying for a building permit, Or is this just for rezone or?
Well, commercial uses are gonna have to come before the plan commission, so if somebody approaches us for one of the uses in the moratorium, we'd have to tell them they'd have to wait until the UDO
Okay,
is adopted or the deadline, yeah.
okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dan. Okay, so I guess we're ready for PC motion and discussion. Anyone have a favorable motion or disfavorable to send to the council?
I'll make a favorable motion.
Second.
Motion and second for favorable. Is there any additional comments?
Just to be clear, it's a motion to send it to the council with a favorable
Right.
recommendation on the ordinance as amended. Meaning, we change the date from October 1st, 2023, the deadline, to February 1st, 2024.
Yes, sorry about that.
It's okay.
Are you good, Steve, with the, you made the motion? and-
That's fine.
Second.
Okay. All right, let's roll call vote this.
Don Calvert,
Yes.
Pamela Samples,
Yes.
Dan Swafford,
Yes.
Steve Hale.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, resolution for change of driveway width.
I'm requesting this because I'll show you. So right now, Ellettsville Town Code specifies a 20-foot, 22-foot driveway width at the property line. The problem we're encountering is either a 3-car garage or what you see here, and this is about 33 feet at the property line. And we have so many violations about this, we can't keep up with them. I think when the code was written for 22 feet at the property line, there weren't the size of houses being built and constructed as they are now. We're getting some huge houses in Ellettsville. So the builders are not happy with the code, and as I said, we have several violations, and we're holding driveway permits that have been submitted for larger driveways because of the code. So I talked to Darla about how we could change the code because we are going to be updating the UDO, and she suggested the resolution to give me the authority to waive the 22-foot requirement at the property line.
So we're going to how many feet then from 22 to
36.
A maximum of 36.
36?
What happens is they can go wider once they go past about 4 feet past the property line. So it'd be 22 feet, and then they could go wider to however wide they needed. But then what happens is then you have everybody ramping the curb to get on the driveway and drive up. So it's just causing a lot of problems.
I guess I have a question, though. What about people we've already fined for this, or, I mean, can they go back and, I guess I don't know how many people have been fined for this ordinance. Has there been a lot? I'm sorry, what?
Retroactive.
Right.
There haven't been many fined because we usually request that they cut that 4-foot strip out of the concrete so they become compliant. And usually we do get compliant, but it's just everywhere now.
Right. Okay, any other planning commission comments?
Can I ask Darla something?
Sure.
Is there any chance that we would have to go back, or is it just from this date forward?
It's from this date forward.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
I had a question. The 36 feet that we came up with now, is that based off what we believe is gonna be in the UDO, or is that just kind of a?
Mike can tell you there's the garage door width and then a certain amount of feet between each garage door.
Right, yeah, based on some of the garages that you have, some maybe three single doors, so if you could put the proper space between those, the side to side is about 36 max. Most people, I don't think will go the 36, I think they'll kind of trim that down a little bit, but.
Yeah, I was just saying, is that gonna match up with the UDO or whatever, when that comes out for the official,
Yes, we will request that revision
that same amount?
in the
yeah.
UDO.
Okay.
So what's the closest they can get to the property line with the driveway then? Is there a,
If you pass this, they can take the maximum of 36 feet at the property line. The property line usually runs behind the sidewalk in the new developments, right behind the sidewalk.
okay, sorry. Is there any other planning commission comments? Seeing none, is there any public comment?
I just have a question, I'm not exactly sure here.
Dan, could you come up to the speaker, or they can't get it on the cats?
So the maximum width overall is 36 feet.
That's what I'm requesting. Town code is currently 22 feet
But
At the
you're
property
proposing
line.
36 feet?
at the property line.
Okay, and then before the property line out to the street?
They can flare the driveway at the street, as most driveways flare. It's just the property, town code specifies at the property line, it has to be 22 feet,
Is that a 22-foot minimum or maximum?
maximum.
Okay, so 22 feet maximum at the street.
At the property line.
Right, but starting at the street.
No, in new developments, most property lines start right behind the sidewalk.
Okay.
Yeah, from the street to the sidewalk is town right away.
And what kind of drive can you put there?
Most of them flare it at the curb and then start their 22 feet to make it 22 feet at the property line.
Okay. So 22 feet from the property line out to the street, because there's a tree plot in some of them. Right. Okay, I'm just trying to understand. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I appreciate that, Dan, because that's kind of was my concern too.
So most driveways, you'll notice, will flare at the curb coming off the street, and then they go into that 22 foot, so they have that right behind the sidewalk, and then they can go up 4 feet and then flare out, currently.
Okay. Reason why I asked, and I don't know if that what Dan was getting at too, but, so what about driveways like this one, for instance? They put a little side area over for a camper or something like that. So that's still not going to be allowed, correct?
It will be if you pass it.
So they could add another, 12 feet to the current
Yeah, so town code only specifies
22, right?
at the property line, specifically the property line. So to keep that 22 feet, we always had them go about 4 feet, and then they could take it as wide as they wanted.
Okay.
But the problem is the turnaround for people who have 3 or 4 drivers in the driveway. So then what they end up doing, as I said, is they either fill that in or they go drive right up over the curb and grass and hit it.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
All right, is there a motion on this resolution?
So what we actually making the motion for, you permission to do it, or?
I think if you
You'll be
just
okay with
approve,
passage
Just
tonight?
approve
Okay.
the resolution, then you'll give Denise the authority.
Okay, so, what
Just read this resolution and
Okay.
approve or disapprove.
okay, I make a motion to approve Resolution 01-2023 to change the width of the driveway from 22 foot to 36 foot. Does that sound right? Okay.
at the property line.
At the property line. Is that good?
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, let's roll call, please.
Now, Don Calvert,
Yes.
Pamela Samples,
Yes.
Dan Swafford,
Yes.
Steve Hale.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Planning Department updates.
Next meeting's June 1st, 2023. The Planning Department's been really busy, but right now I don't have anything on the horizon for new business.
Okay. And privilege of the floor. Dan, do you want to restate what you said earlier, just to remind everyone, or are you okay?
No, I think you got it.
Okay. Anyone else? I'm not picking on you, Dan. Any other public comment? All right. Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the Planning Commission. Final comment? Seeing none? Meeting adjourned.